I don't want to just show you things that work. I want to show you things that don't work, how I make stupid mistakes, just like everybody. I don't like videos where everything is always perfect. Their filming is perfect. Their production is perfect. Their editing is perfect. I've just never been that way, and I don't care if people don't like it or not, because I can't get enough content out if I'm always concerned whether it's perfect or not. And the other thing is when I watch videos on how to make things and do things, it's always like showing me so perfect, and I can't, and then I try and I can't do it or something doesn't go right. So then I get really frustrated. So in this video, I'm going to show you an epic fail that I went through, and how if you ever get this, like, I don't know, brain fog or whatever it does that makes you feel like you can't switch backwards and forwards on stuff. I made a couple of these in the last week, and I'm going to share one of those with you right now. All right, so this is my epic fail. I am trying to make labels to put in my products, my clothing products and bags and scrunchies and everything. So I bought this from Michael's on sale, this online, this 10 transfer sheets. And I think I've already wasted a bunch because I'm so bad at this. Let me see how many I've left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh boy. So this is how bad I am at this stuff. And no matter how I read the instructions, okay, here's the instructions. And I read and read and read. Somehow backwards and forwards, upside down and right side up, or stuff I just don't get. So first I designed, let me show you the first ones I designed. So first I went on Canva and I created a file, and I couldn't figure out on Canva how to line them up. So I said, forget it, I'll just cut these out then at first. And so I made them like this. So that's the first one I did. And then what happened was when I put in, so you take this, you have to take this sheet out, right? You put that in your printer, the one that I just showed you. And then you take this sheet out, and you see how it has the red lines there and then nothing there. This red line part is where you iron, and this is the part that sticks to your fabric. And then I had my piece of fabric, okay? So let me lift up the camera so you can have a little bit better view. All right, so then I put the sheet through, and it printed like this, which was wrong. See, how was it wrong? I can't remember now. But anyway, the red light, when you put this through the machine, I know why. Because when I put it through the machine, I threw that piece of paper away, that's why. The red lines have to be up. So the first time I put it in the machine, I had it this way, and so it printed on this side. That's wrong. So that took me a while. So finally I figured I have to put the red line side up. So I had to take a piece of paper and do this and put red line side up, so I don't forget and don't do it wrong. So I did that. And so then this is what finally printed out on the bigger ones. This is a little different than the big one. So then I printed some out, okay? And they came out like, oh no, I gotta first tell you, they came out all upside down. So I'm like, what the heck? I was putting this, okay? So see how this is wrong? I was putting this, turned it around, ironed it. This was all backwards on my fabric. I'm like, duh, like what am I not getting? Okay, so then I'm like, oh, I have to make them all backwards. So they have to look like this. I have to print them backwards. So I went to ChatGPT and said, help, how do I freaking make these backwards on Canva and print them backwards, when they come out on my printer? So it was telling me I had to use that feature called Flip, which of course I didn't know. Anyway, so it took me forever to do this. And so I finally came up with this. Now, here's a problem with this one. When I cut these, I'll show you here. When I cut the big ones, now, they're too big. So even if I take this one and cut it like in a scrunchie, I could take this, fold it, and see that there's nothing on the back there, and then cut it here. But I did that, and that looked okay, but it was too big. So then I had to go back to Canva and say, okay, I got to make them smaller. So then I did the same old process, made sure it was, here it is, the backward sheet. Made sure it was all backwards. This time I learned on Canva how to do a frame and then flip everything at the same time, kind of like. I don't know, it was complicated anyway. My brain just wasn't computing. So then I took out these ones, which are these ones here now. So then what I decided, instead of wasting a bunch of these expensive pieces of paper, they're like $1 each, I printed out, you can see where I'm cutting this, right? So I printed out one of these and then I cut them and then I folded them to see if this is how I wanted. And I can always trim on each side. So then this gets sewn in. I need enough for a seam allowance right here, right? And both need to stick in. So I said, okay, well, I can get away now, but they don't all come out. The problem is they don't all work that way when you're cutting them out. So that's what I discovered when I cut them out here. So here is one that it's so frustrating. Here's one that I just cut out. And even if I put it, I need to have it so I could put a seam there, right? And now when I do it this way, my K is cut off. See that? It's not the end of the world. I might still be able to use it. And so I've been having to do them like one at a time, basically. Here's another one that I cut out. And so this one, and I just have to forget about the apostrophe. I'll fold this one here. And then it has a super thin seam line there, which is okay. But then the G gets cut off when I'm sewing it, which again is not the end of the world. But I am not liking it. So then here's another one. Now, how do I do this one? This one's a waste. Because if I fold this one down, see on the back side, it doesn't even cover. And this one, I could waste that one and then do this one. But this one has a little fuzz on it. But this one, then the seam won't work. You see that? Because I would sew right over the word. Oh, so needless to say, I am super frustrated at this. I'm not doing a good job at this at all. I almost want to just throw the towel in and pay extra to get them ordered. That people make them the right way. I mean, they make them this way. They use the same stuff we have, or they might have a different kind of thermal. They might have one that has this one has kind of almost a papery feel to it once you put it on the fabric. But I can buy them on Etsy, and I might just have to do that just because my time is better spent doing other things, and I do own 2 other companies besides this one. Oh, here's the piece of paper I wanted to show you. Oh, look how bad it was. So I printed on this side, and then I finally figured out, no, you got to print on this side. So yeah, what a mess. And I finally figured out, and these are too big. And now I'm going to change the name of my company. It's not going to be Katerina's Designs anymore. I'm changing it. So I decided that with the Katerina, it's just too much. I really like this Katerina Designs, but it's just too big and too much. And that's why I changed it to this one here. But now the designs, I just don't like it. So I got to work with that. And then I just decided, well, I'm getting older, and I want this to be something that my kids can, one of my daughters at least, would be interested in pursuing after I'm gone. And so I want it to be more of a name that's more universal besides mine. Plus, I could never register trademark my own name like that because too many people have that name. So I'm working on creating another name for my design company. And so, yeah, so that's where I'm at now, which is such a bummer. I don't know if you have a YouTube video that you've done to show. I mean, because the thing is I've watched so many on how to do it and it looks so simple. But the problem is to the cutting area. Like, how do you know when you put it on a piece of paper? How do you know how much to fold it? Like this one doesn't even work. You can't even fold it down. So you're looking at the piece of paper on Canva going, oh yeah, there's plenty of room, but there's not. Anyway, if you have any ideas for me before I just bite the bullet, I just hate giving up too. That's the other thing is like, I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to do it, right? But it might not be a good thing for me to learn how to do when I could be spending the time that I spent doing this. I could have probably made 25 scrunchies So yeah, it might not be worth it for me to learn this, but I'd still like to know what your tips are, how you make your cloth labels for your bags and clothing and scrunchies and stuff like that. I'd love to hear about it in the comments.